2023, and a once beloved game developer's reputation is in absolute freefall. What was at one point probably the highest rated developer in the industry, a studio that pumped out classic after classic, has now become the home of incomprehensible horror. Corporate greed, broken promises, botched releases, stolen breast milk. This is the story of Blizzard Entertainment. The year is 1991, and three guys have just graduated from the University of California. Alan Adham, Michael Morhaime, and Frank Pierce. They get together to create a game development studio in Irvine called Silicon and Synapse. The name is deeply philosophical and well thought out, with Silicon representing the building block of a computer, and Synapse the building block of a brain.
Wow.
However, people keep mistaking the silicon part for the material in breast implants. Anyway, they spent the first few years porting games to different systems, but soon begin producing their own original games, with The Lost Vikings in 1992 and Rock and Roll Racing in 1993. Eventually, they get sick of constantly being mixed up with women's breasts, so they decide to switch things up, changing their name to Chaos Studios. However, a company based in Florida already has the trademark, and are now asking for $100,000.
That's such a gross name.
They then decide to change the studio's name to Ogre Studios.
No!
But in 1994, they're acquired by a holding company for a few $1 million. And turns out, their new owners aren't a fan of the new name.
It stinks! It
So they
does
flip
stink.
through a dictionary, and oh my god, there it is. In 1994, Blizzard releases their first self-published title, a real-time strategy game called Warcraft Orcs and Humans. And it's
We don't have Wicked enabled? What's Wicked?
an instant success.
Is it an
It's one of
emote?
the
Like
earliest real-time strategy games to hit shelves, and it's a blast. It also has a modem and LAN multiplayer, meaning people can get together and go ham. And the game does well, selling 100,000 copies in the first year.
Link it!
And for the first time, Blizzard Entertainment is profitable. They follow it up with Warcraft 2 in 1995. It's another home run. Critically acclaimed, and now selling over 1 million copies in its first year. Nice. It's now 1996, and a company called Condor Games is looking for a publisher for their nearly complete game.
Fine, I'll do it myself. This one? Which one? There you go. There you go.
Diablo. Blizzard has a little look, and they like.
Wait, let me hold on. I missed. You made me miss the fucking video now.
Over
Thanks.
1 million copies in its first year.
Oh, it's not meant to be animated? Is it meant to be or not? Is it not meant to be animated? We're getting the non-animated one. Yeah, we're getting the non-animated one. The one I've seen is not animated either. This is the one I've seen. This is the non-animated. It's meant to be animated? No, it's not. I've never seen an animated one. It's meant to not be animated. Don't fucking sure me. Anyway, let's watch the goddamn video, chat. Stop having ADHD and watch. Sit down. Kids, please, sit down and watch the fucking TV and let your mother have some fucking rest. Please. I've been entertaining you children all fucking morning, okay? Please, just let me have a fucking rest and just watch the goddamn fucking TV show. Watch the cartoons. Watch the fucking cartoons. Look at your iPad. Fuck.
And a company called Condor Games is looking for a publisher for their nearly complete game, Diablo. Blizzard has a little look, and they like. So they buy them and rename them Blizzard North. It's also at this point that Blizzard notices something. Warcraft 2 had picked up a lasting online player base, mostly through third-party networks that connected players over this magic new thing called the internet. So they decide to make their own, Battle.net. Its original functionality is very simple, with the ability for players to chat to each other and search for a match. But on December 31st, 1996, it launches alongside Diablo, and people log on and play. Diablo is a massive hit, also selling over 1 million copies within its first year. In 1998, Blizzard launches StarCraft, an RTS set in space. It sells bigly, and quickly grows a massive esports scene. Diablo 2
How are they
launches
selling
in 2000,
so much good shit?
another smash hit. It reaches almost 3 million sales by the end of the year, becoming the fastest selling PC game of all time. In 2002, Warcraft is back, and now it has an extra dimension. Warcraft 3 sells 1 million units in just 1 month, immediately becoming the new fastest selling PC game.
How does Blizzard not miss for the first like 5 or 6 years? It's just like absolute, not just like bangers, like screamers of fucking hits. Insane that they did Warcraft, Warcraft 2, Diablo, StarCraft, Warcraft 3, Diablo 2, back to back to back to back to back to back. Like, literally the goat of video games was their game, and then they did better with their next game. Every time it was a better game every time. Warcraft 3, then fucking Diablo 2, then Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, like, then World of Warcraft. What on earth what was going on?
It also releases with a campaign editor, which spawns a series of popular mods like Defense of the Ancients. And after its expansion in 2003, it's all hands on deck for Blizzard's next project.
Oh my god.
The year is 2004, and Blizzard is getting ready to release its biggest game yet. They'd seen how big MMOs like EverQuest were getting, and thought they'd try their hand. And after $60 million and 5 years of work, it's finally nearing release. And in November 2004, World of Warcraft launches.
That's so sick.
And it takes the world by storm, smashing even Blizzard's forecasts. There are so many players trying to log on in the first week that their servers have a complete meltdown, with server queues.
World of Warcraft really is like the OG GOAT, in my opinion. Like, for video games, it was like, he was that guy for so long. He was him. I'd say nowadays, as League of Legends, you gotta pay your respects to the king. But, man, it was World of Warcraft for so long.
Reaching the thousands. Get past the queues and actually into a game? Well, now you're greeted with a ton of latency issues and a probable disconnection, meaning you're now back on that queue screen. After the initial server problems are ironed out and people can actually play, the game sucks people in en masse. Fans are very enthusiastic. It hoovers up awards left, right and centre, and sells a ton of copies, reaching almost 6 million sales
on
by the
stream
end of its
when
first
just turbo nuke the mental health. That would probably lead to dangerous things. That would fuck me up for sure.
World of Warcraft isn't like your average game though. Instead of simply buying a copy, players have to pay a $15 monthly subscription fee to play. 6 million times 15 every month. And Blizzard isn't doing too badly. Everyone is playing the game, and its ads go on to feature a ton of celebrities.
I'm Chuck Norris, and I approve this game.
And others like Vin Diesel, William Shatner, Henry Cavill,
Mr. T, Mr.
and
T,
Dave Chappelle announce their addictions in various interviews. World of Warcraft is everywhere.
God fucking damn it!
World of Warcraft would also result in the launch of BlizzCon in 2005, a massive annual convention that would feature big musical acts and announcements for Blizzard's future games.
Red shirt guy.
Fans could also ask the devs questions
Red shirt
and were
guy.
sometimes even featured. At this point, Blizzard is among the all-time greats of gaming. Every game, a smash hit. They could do no wrong. But first, flying a plane is easy. Just get in, flip a few switches, and you're off.
Okay, before we get into this, when did the downfall of Blizzard start? What do we think it was? Do we think it was League of Legends? Do you think that Blizzard got tilted by League of Legends into making shit games and shit decisions? No, because Activision did... No, they were already going downhill. Like, World of Warcraft was already becoming kind of like a tired IP by the time. Like, that's the thing of MMOs, I feel like. Oh, Diablo 3, yeah. Like, when did Kata come out? Because Burning Crusade was 2006. Lich King would have been like 2007, 2008. So maybe 2010. So maybe like coinciding with League of Legends. Did League of Legends kill WoW, or did WoW dying cause a bunch of players to leave and find League of Legends? Which happened first, do we think? Because, I know that, like, maybe it was Diablo 3. Diablo 3 was a pretty bad release. When did WoW start to die? I think that Cataclysm was when a lot of people started to quit. But I think that, like, even if Kata was like a mid-expansion, if they followed it up with a really goated expansion afterwards, people would have forgiven. Even though Kata was mid, it was earlier than I... Wait, really? When was the Activision merge? The thing is, Kata was like a mid-expansion at its time, for sure. But Activision merger closed in 2007. Wow, that is way earlier than I thought. What the hell? Wait, that is way earlier than I thought. Oh, damn. But, like, okay. Even if Kata was bad, if they just came out with an insanely good follow-up expansion, no one would have cared. No one would have given a shit. Like, it would have been fine, right? Like, they would have still been... They'd still had time, I guess, to so to say. So to speak. They do 2 expansions ahead of time, so you think Kata was the first expansion completely dev by the new leadership. Ah, might have been Mr. Pandaria, yeah. But MoP was a terrible... Like, Kata was already losing them players, and MoP, even though from my understanding, I didn't play Mr. Pandaria, from my understanding, by actual WoW players, it's thought of as being a pretty good expansion. Like, it's actually pretty good. Like, the raids are really high quality. The zones are pretty cool. The lore is pretty cool. But the pandas. People hated the pandas. They fucking hated the pandas. Man. Yeah, they really didn't like the pandas. So, marketing-wise, it was a big failure. And at that point, it was just... I mean, it just felt like bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. It was just one... I mean, I'm sure he'll go into it in the video, but it was just like... It was just pandas into fucking... a StarCraft 2 expansion that, like, the game was already, like, outdated. Or I think StarCraft 2 expansion came out earlier than this. But at this point, StarCraft 2 is already, like, it's a boring-ass, dying game. Nobody cares about StarCraft 2 anymore. So, StarCraft 2, nobody gives a shit. Pandas, nobody gives a shit. Kata, people start quitting. They see League of Legends and they come up with fucking Heart of the Swarm or whatever. HOTS. And that shit blows. Overwatch comes out, and Overwatch is really good on release. Really good. But it was just like... Shit just started tanking. WoW became... Yeah, WoW's art style got... Yeah, WoW's art style is dog shit, man. It's so bad. Here's the Storm, I can't reel. Diablo 3, bad. Diablo 3 Reapers of Souls, pretty good. But I think Diablo 3 was pretty bad, so.
The year is now 2006.
But Reaper of
World
Souls
of
was
Warcraft
really good.
has almost 10 million active subscribers and is bringing in a ton of money. So naturally, it had turned a few heads. One of those heads, Bobby Kotick, CEO
The
of
Gremlin
Activision.
King. It's the
Now in
Gremlin,
2006,
or the Goblin King. I mean.
Activision had made good tracks in just about every genre of games, except one. And one that was now booming. The MMO. With Warcraft currently bringing in over $1 billion a year in subscriptions alone, he's interested. Now at this point, Blizzard has changed hands.
You think WoW spelled the end? Maybe. I think one of the problems with WoW is the commitment to a forever game. I feel like there's a lot of like positives to forever games in terms of like when people like when CEOs, so we're gonna do this thing where I talk for 2 hours over a 30-minute video, but I think a lot of companies want to create a forever game. I think when I say forever game, I mean a game that players play and it has regular updates, regular content cycles, regular patches, new cosmetics. It can be free to play, it can be subscription, or it can be pay and forever game. It doesn't necessarily matter. But, you know, new cosmetics releasing, battle pass shit is a more recent addition to the forever game, but that is in there too now. And there's a lot of appeal to creating these, and MMOs are kind of like the first forever game. Maybe not the first, because obviously like competitive games and stuff would kind of maybe count, but like an MMO is like really the first kind of like, okay, there's every few months we're adding new content, we're adding a new raid, every like 6 months we're adding a new patch, update, we're balancing consistently. Every year there's an expansion, there's more content, we're always growing out. And I think that it's really, really, really appealing as a company to have that, because you have a player base that will never stop buying the same product over and over and over again. And that can be really good. But the other problem is, at a certain point, your game kind of starts to die, whether you want it to or not. Like, League of Legends is not dead, but I don't think League of Legends will ever peak the way it peaked in, like, 2013, or whenever its peak was, 2014. Like, and the same for, like, Overwatch. I don't think Overwatch 2 will ever peak the same way that Overwatch 1 peaked. I don't think that, World of Warcraft will ever get back to where it used to be. So now you're kind of eternally maintaining this game that's like past its prime. And it starts to feel like you're just like, it's like you have like an old dog, you know? And everyone can see that the dog is like really fucking old. Everyone can see it. Like, we're just waiting on the dog to fucking die. Like, and it's just a weird thing. And I think that it kind of fucks over companies in the long run. Because you run into this situation where, like, you're forced to maintain this game forever, even though it's a fucking walking corpse. Which, yeah, I mean, and you're gonna get so, if you ever decide to stop updating that game, you're gonna get so much hate. How are you gonna move on to new IP? Right? Like, no one's gonna get mad at at Naughty Dog. No one's gonna get mad at Naughty Dog for dropping like The Last of Us and then not making like a sequel for like 8 years or something. No one's gonna get mad at Naughty Dog that the last Uncharted game came out fucking however many years ago, right? Because you don't expect them to keep updating it. But if League of Legends in like 3 years, they say, listen guys, we had a good run, but we're going to stop updating League of Legends now because we're kind of done with the game and we want to move on to new IP. Nobody is fucking right. Like, that is going to get them so many haters. People will hate them for eternity if they do that. So I don't know. It's kind of a tough place to be.
and is now owned by a company called Vivendi. So Kotick approaches Vivendi with a proposition. Vivendi receives money. Activision receives Blizzard. However, Vivendi says no.
Ooh.
Instead, Vivendi offers to merge their gaming subdivision with Activision, with Vivendi owning a majority share in the resulting company. And after a brief hesitation from Kotick, in 2008, the deal closes. Activision Blizzard opens its doors with Kotick as CEO, and Activision and Blizzard now its two subsidiaries. Blizzard would supposedly retain most of its autonomy and keep their CEO, co-founder Michael Morhaime.
Right.
It's now 2010, and Blizzard has gone from just under 500 employees before the launch of World of Warcraft to now over 4,600.
That's
the majority
a lot
of whom
of
are preparing
employees.
for the launch of StarCraft 2 in July, and the third major Warcraft expansion, Cataclysm.
But think about how bad that is. They went from 500 employees to 4,600, and the games they have coming out are fucking StarCraft 2? Ugh, gross. And Cataclysm. Ugh, gross. Like, yikes.
In December.
Yikes.
Now these launches were not small. Warcraft had been hitting peak after peak.
I know that these are exciting launches. Like, don't get me wrong. These are people are hyped as fuck for these games coming out, but these games sucked.
Players, and was now at 12 million monthly subscribers. And StarCraft 2's sales projections are also sizable. But Blizzard currently has a problem. Their forums. They're a little bit toxic. Blizzard has a big team of moderators, but according to them, this still wasn't enough. So behind the scenes...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the forever game problem. They're expected to address all of these people's issues. Like, if you take a game... Sorry to go and harp on this over and over, but if you take a game like Smash Bros. Melee or whatever, right? Nintendo was never doing a fucking patch for this game ever. It doesn't matter what your issue is with the game. They are never fixing this. There is no forum to say, guys, Fox is OP. We need to nerf Fox, guys. Fox is OP, and can we please buff Pikachu? I want to play Pikachu. Like, there's no fucking there's nobody is entertaining that shit. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. You're yapping into the fucking ether. But with Blizzard, because they're maintaining this forever game, they are forced to address these issues that all of these gamers have. And one thing you need to know about gamers is that gamers are fucking idiots who don't know what the fuck they want. They think they're fucking smarter than they are. They're all morons. They are all dumb fucking idiots. Okay? And they don't know what the fuck they want. And they all hate each other and they hate playing games. They hate games.
They get brainstorming. And someone has a brilliant idea. How about we just force everyone that posts on our forums to use their real first and last name? Genius. And in July 2010, Real ID is unveiled. And people absolutely hate it. So in an attempt to sell the idea to players, Blizzard's community manager posts his full name on the forum. See guys, it's fine.
No. Oh no. It's like watching a train. Oh no, you can do nothing. You can do nothing to stop it.
But almost instantly, people descend on the forum and get to work.
Yep.
And within mere minutes, they find and publish his home address, phone number, age, Facebook, family names, and a list of his favourite music and movies.
Yep.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. And after just a few days of being announced, Real ID is scrapped entirely. By 2009, the Warcraft 3 mod Defense of the Ancients had gained a significant following, and had even spawned a whole new genre of games, MOBAs. For much of that time, Blizzard had paid little attention to the mod or the game, but the success of the recently launched League of Legends could no longer be ignored. And Blizzard finally steps in, starting work on their take on the genre, titled Blizzard Dota. Around the same time, and Valve wants to make their own MOBA. They'd hired the head dev of the original Dota mod, snapped up the Dota trademark, and they're calling their new game Dota 2. Blizzard is furious.
Yep.
So in 2012, they file a statement of opposition, arguing that the name Defense of the Ancients was associated exclusively with Warcraft due to it being made in their map editor.
That's hilarious. Blizz not making a MOBA was an all-time bag fumble. Yep, it was. Absolutely. Blizzard should have... I mean, Valve did exactly what Blizzard should have done, right? Like obviously. Everything that Valve did with Dota 2 is exactly what Blizzard should have done. Yo, we have this really fucking popular mod that's spawning an entire genre of game out of. Like, hold on a second. We should just contact the guys that made this mod, hire them probably. We should just hire them. We should just funnel our resources in and just make this an actual game. The thing is, that's probably something that like would have happened if Blizzard was a like 400, 500 person company. I think. If Blizzard was like a smaller company of like actual gamers and not like this bloated, disgusting mess that it's become with the merger, that probably would have happened. Like someone would have been like, yo, this game is fucking cool. Now, don't get me wrong. It probably would have been weird as fuck, but yeah.
However, this argument has issues. See, the mod was created in Warcraft 3's map editor, but that map editor had no specific terms and conditions on ownership of said maps, IP, and concepts. They end up settling out of court a few months after, with Valve getting the commercial rights to the term Dota, and Dota 2 releases in 2012.
Yep.
It's massively successful, and goes on to be an esports giant. Blizzard gets non-commercial use of the title for its community, and renames Blizzard Dota to Heroes of the Storm, which releases in 20...
It's so bad, bro. Oh, it's so bad. It's such a bad game. Oh, it's such a bad game, man. It's just so fucking terrible. It's so shit. It's so shit, man.
15. And support is canned 3 years later. Blizzard would change its licensing agreements for all future games to include their ownership of player-created maps in an attempt to avoid this ever happening again.
Yeah.
It's 2012, and the massively anticipated sequel to Diablo 2 is looking like it's releasing this year. Its development had been a bit
Wait, is that real?
with its dev
Did this
team.
guy cry? Is that real? He cried over Diablo 3? Is this a real clip? I've seen this guy crying. Is that what he was crying over? Was he crying over Diablo 3, or was it a different game that he was crying over? I've seen this guy's face before.
Looking like it's releasing this year. Its development had been a bit rocky,
was Star Wars.
with its dev team, Blizzard North, being canned in 2005, along with their version of the game.
Wait, what happened?
but
Sorry,
on the
one
15th
second. I missed a little bit, sorry. That's almost worse? I mean, that's about what you'd expect from Star Wars fans.
This year. Its development had been a bit rocky, with its dev team, Blizzard North, being canned in 2005, along with their version of the game. But on the 15th of May 2012, the rebooted Diablo 3 launches.
Wait, so am I wrong? Is what happened with Diablo that a different company other than Blizzard created Diablo? Blizzard bought the game, said that, like, you know, they published it, so they just published it. They didn't make Diablo. Then they bought the company that made Diablo, and that same company made Diablo 2. And then Blizzard fired everyone from that company in 2005. Is that what just happened? Is that what happened? They fired everyone that made Diablo 2. And then 7 years later, they tried to make Diablo 3 with none of the people that actually made Diablo 2 or knew how to, like... What the fuck did they think was gonna happen? 2 years well, yeah, of course. Now I know why. I just thought that Diablo 3 was a bad game. I didn't realize it was because they didn't have anybody that worked on fucking Diablo working on Diablo 3. They just fired everyone that made the actual good games.
Game
That's
is
crazy.
horrendous. For one, its launch is horrific. The game is online only, and turns out there are massive server issues.
Of course.
People are spamming their login details over and over, only to be kicked out by error 37.
CEO's Ruby so
What's
fucking
worse,
dumb.
there's no queue system in place, so you have to manually retry every minute. This issue takes over a week to fix. Then there's the auction house. Here, loot can be bought and sold using your mum's credit card.
This is crazy.
Activision Blizzard gets filthy rich, while the
course they
balancing
do.
gets obliterated. Endgame content is also essentially non-existent. However, the game sells almost 4 million copies in its first 24 hours,
Wow.
and over time, slowly makes a turnaround. In 2014, the real money auction house is closed, and Blizzard launches Reaper of Souls, an add-on praised almost unanimously.
Yeah.
They're ready to make a second add-on to the game, but management says no.
Ooh.
Apparently, executives see the game as a massive failure and demand devs jump ship.
Oh my god, I love corporate, man. I love corporate. Reaper of Souls, I didn't buy Diablo 3, but I bought Reaper of Souls. And I'm going to be honest with you. I liked Reaper of Souls. Honestly, this might be a bit of a this might be sussy. But I preferred playing Reaper of Souls to playing Diablo 4. Like, honestly. Very genuinely. I much preferred Reaper of Souls to Diablo 4. Now, I don't know if Diablo 4 is a better game. It might be a better game. It's just not for me. There just wasn't a better game for me. Okay? But, damn. It would have been so cool to have another expansion. Man, developers are so dumb. They could have just done another Diablo 3 expansion. It would have been sick. Bro.
The year is now 2015. The past 10 years had seen massive
Or
expansions
not developers,
to
sorry,
Warcraft.
corporate. Sorry, corporate is so dumb. It would have been so sick. Especially as they learn how to make a
including
good
controversial changes to the game and its mechanics. And player numbers reflect that, now being in
Wait.
steep decline.
Hold on.
The game is a massive failure and demand devs jump ship.
Right, okay. Wait, I need to not do my retainer until I finish my tea.
The year is now 2015. The past 10 years had seen massive expansions to Warcraft, including controversial changes to the game and its mechanics. And player numbers reflect that, now being in steep decline. A
But that
growing
was Wars of Draenor, right?
number of players long to go back to the days of vanilla, version 1 of the game,
Right.
back in 2004. One fan even floats the idea to Blizzard themselves at BlizzCon 2013. Here's how that goes.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No.
Okay then, we'll just make one ourselves. And the fan-made Nostalrius
Oh,
vanilla server goes
yep.
online in February 2015.
Yep, and then they
running
killed
version
it.
1.12,
They
a month
killed
after
it.
the original launch.
No, they
It's
killed
not
it.
long before the server gets massively popular,
Yep.
with almost 1 million accounts registered. It's
Yep.
also not long before Blizzard catches wind and brings the hammer down.
Yep.
Their lawyers sent them a cease and desist in 2016, and the server is promptly shut down.
Yep.
Realizing they were completely wrong about vanilla Warcraft, Blizzard do a full 180 and announce Warcraft Classic in 2017.
You know what they could have done? And I don't know if this is probably a good idea or not, but there was already a server with 1.3 million players playing Warcraft. Like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but like, they could have just went to the guys that made the Warcraft Classic thing. I feel like this is like a decision that like a huge company will never make, but a smaller company probably would have. Go to the guys that have the 1.3 million fucking subscriber thing and say, hey, you know what? We were wrong about like we don't need to say this to them, but like realize we were wrong about how much people wanted Warcraft Classic. we see that you guys have an up and running, crazy big community. Like, let's not shut your servers down. Let's incorporate them and team up. But they shut the servers down. So the problem is, by shutting the servers down, they had to do a full relaunch, which I guess is fine. They probably got more than 1.3 million people playing Classic. But, like, they could have retained I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Back in 2007, Blizzard started work on a huge MMO called Project Titan. It was described as a combination of Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress, and The Sims. But development led nowhere, and 6 years later, the plug is pulled. A massive failure on Blizzard's part, and a major internal embarrassment. However, the team behind it would attempt to rework the remains of the story and assets into another project, and in 2016, Overwatch hits shelves.
This is a good game.
And it's amazing.
It is.
It's critically acclaimed across the board and massively popular, quickly becoming one of the most popular esports titles on the market. That, paired with their genre pioneering card game Hearthstone back in 2014, that now has almost 100 million players.
Blizzard's
and
back,
Blizzard is looking strong. However,
there
are problems
We're
brewing.
back. Oh
See,
no.
Overwatch was the last big game they'd had in the pipeline for a while, and they realised they don't have much to show off for BlizzCon 2018. So Blizzard rushes to find something to show off. Got it. Fast forward to November 2018, and their presentation is ready to go. They sprinkle a few niche announcements here and there, like a remastered Warcraft 3, but they have one big announcement centerpiece. After 6 long years, a brand new Diablo. For mobile.
Bruh. Like, look, Diablo 2, come play the mobile game that has nothing to do...
I'm amazed, honestly, it's this bad. This is fucking insane. I don't even know, like, what to even say about this.
Just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC.
You guys don't have phones?
You guys not have phones? Yeah, everyone's got a phone.
The game eventually launches, and it's bad. Firstly, it's not...
But they could have just... I guess they don't want to say, like, hey guys, look, we were really hard at work with Overwatch, we were really hard at work with other shit. Like, they could have just said... I feel like, why does nobody just use the honesty approach? Look guys, Overwatch took a lot of our development and stuff, so we don't have a ton going on right now to show you. Shareholders is why? Oh yeah, true. Right, of course. No, you're right.
Even developed by Blizzard, but their Chinese partner NetEase. And turns out, it's monetized to the tits.
No, you're right, shareholders.
It costs over $500,000 to max out a single character, and becomes the
so
worst rated
funny.
game ever on Metacritic. By 2018, fans are noticing something. Activision Blizzard had been creeping, and Blizzard was changing. See, back in 2013, Actiblizzard had bought back the remaining Vivendi shares for about $7 billion, meaning they, and by extension, Bobby Kotick, now had complete control of both Activision and Blizzard.
Right.
Fast forward to 2018, and this creeping had only got worse. Because of the slowdown in game releases, Blizzard's revenues are taking an absolute nosedive.
Yep.
So Actiblizzard steps in. It pushes the company to cut costs, and gets them to produce games at a faster pace. With Kotick apparently installing his own executives within Blizzard to ensure that happens. Apparently, tired of Actiblizzard's meddling, Blizzard co-founder Mike Morhaime steps down as president and CEO, and leaves the company after 27 years of work. He's succeeded by Warcraft's executive producer, J. Allen Brack. This guy.
And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
And as soon as this happens, we accelerate. The company immediately prioritizes cutting costs, and the Heroes of the Storm's development team is outright annihilated.
Get
its
it out of
esports
here.
league is also scrapped right before its 2019 season.
I'm just gonna say though, this was actually based as hell. Just delete it. Just delete Heroes of the Swarm. Please. Get it the fuck out of here. Based, good decision. I stan Activision Blizzard. You don't get the shareholders take? Just that, like, they can't announce, they can't tell people, they can't tell their fans that they don't have a lot going on right now. Because if they tell their fans they don't have a lot going on right now, yeah, the stocks will go down. Because, I mean, shareholders will know that, like, let's say you're an investor and you want to put money into a company, right? You want to know that you're going to get a return on your money for investing. So if there's no new games coming out from Blizzard in the next, like, 2 years, they're not going to get a bunch of sales and they're not going to make a bunch of money. So you're going to invest, and Blizzard's net worth in a year is going to be lower than it is today. So you're going to lose money. Now, it might be higher in 2.5 years. It might be. But you don't know. That's a lot of risk for you to take on, right? Big risk for you to put your money, give your money, give it away to another company that may or may not even make something in the next 2 years. That they're risking your money. So Blizzard has to show something so that an investor goes, if I give them $100 today, I can get $150 in a year or something, right?
As a result, entire teams, commentators, and support staff are suddenly left jobless. And despite 2018 being a record year for Active Blizzard profits, they lay off 800 employees, almost 10% of the company. They begin rehiring the exact same jobs a couple of years later.
Hilarious.
So going into 2019, people are not happy. But turns out, over on the other side of the world, and things are happening in Hong Kong, they're not good. Their government has proposed a bill that would give China more authority over them.
No,
and that's not too popular.
Not the Hong Kong incident.
At the same time, Hong Kong native Blitz Chung is participating in Hearthstone's esports league. He wins and uses the post-game interview to show his support for the protests. But as soon as he says it, something happens. See, Blizzard has a huge player base in China, and to keep that player base available to them, they have to bend over backwards for the Chinese government. So when this happens, they go scorched earth. They take the livestream down seconds after he says it, slap him with a year-long ban, and even confiscate his prize money.
It's crazy,
even the guys casting the stream are fired. It's not long before the internet catches wind, and people are furious. At one point, even Congress members have a go. After a few days of pressure, J. Allen Brack eventually comes out. He reduces the ban to half a year and grants Blitzchung his prize money back. He also says that Blizzard's relationships with China had no influence on their decision. Blizzard is starting to look seriously not cool.
That's not cool.
So they decide to go into BlizzCon 2019 with the big guns, announcing Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. Also, that Warcraft remaster they'd announced at the infamous 2018 BlizzCon is coming out next year.
I hope
This
it's
will be
good. I hope it's a good game.
Back in 2015,
It's gonna be good, right,
Blizzard
chat?
had
Right?
set up a
Warcraft
subdivision
Remastered
to
is
remaster
gonna be
old
so good.
games. The first of which would be Warcraft 3.
We're finally
And
gonna
in
get an actual cutscene, right, guys? We're gonna get an actual Blizzard quality cutscene of Arthas vs Illidan, right? We're gonna get like a really sick ass like cinematic fight between I wanted to see all my life. I wanted to see Illidan versus Arthas in like true good quality. I wanted to see right, guys?
January 2020, the highly anticipated remaster launches. And oh boy, the game is beyond terrible. Here's why. Before launch, Warcraft 3's advertising...
Sorry to just tangent real quick. How's Invisalign? Invisalign is pretty good, actually. It's a lot easier to keep them on than I thought it was going to be. I pretty much never take them off, honestly. You're not supposed to eat with them on, so I don't. But some snacks, which I think they said you're not meant to drink with it on either, but I drink with it on sometimes. So, I drink my tea with the Invisalign on sometimes. Which I kind of like. I kind of like drinking my tea with my Invisalign on because it means that the tea stains the Invisalign and it doesn't stain my actual teeth. So that's kind of based. That's kind of a +1.
Touted multiple new features, over 4 hours of cinematic new cutscenes, more story, and new voice acting, and a complete campaign overhaul, changing the story to be more in line with the current Warcraft lore. But when players log on, turns out absolutely none of this is in the game.
Yeah, it's not true.
This is after being advertised on the website for over a year.
By reforged cutscenes, all they mean is they gave everyone a new model and then they just reused the cutscene with the new models. Like, and not even a new model, like same skeleton, just better graphics on the skeleton. Like,
also a ton of features from the original Warcraft 3 just outright missing.
Yep.
Here are a few of them.
it's
No ranked
worse.
play,
No.
no profiles,
No.
no account stats,
This is a good
no.
video.
no custom campaigns,
No.
no clans,
No.
no cross-region play for custom games,
No.
and no offline play.
No.
It's possible after a few patches,
It's a
but it's a
good-ass
little
video.
complicated. Also, after some digging, people realise the main menu background is actually a Chrome-based web app, and is taking up more of your CPU power than the actual game.
Oh,
Online
no.
matchmaking sucks and kicks you
Dude, why is Chrome so shit? Does anyone know why Google Chrome is so terrible?
out all the time.
For like RAM?
This is without a way to reconnect, by the way. Graphics are worse than advertised.
Treason! Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
This is crazy.
The new art direction is bad.
Yep.
5 of the game's maps are exactly the same as the original, and poor optimization, tons of crashes, and countless bugs.
Yeah.
On top of all of that, Reforged is a mandatory update for everyone with the original game. Only the original with no intention of upgrading. Well, here's an additional 30 gigabytes of install size anyway. All of this amounts to one of the worst launches of a game in history. Within a few days of release, it ends up at 0.5 out of 10 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
At the time, the lowest Metacritic score in history,
Yeah.
before being dethroned by Diablo Immortal. So naturally, hordes of people pile in to request refunds. But wait, you've booted up the game even just once? Sorry, you're not allowed. There's so much outcry about the game, however, that Blizzard eventually caves and starts actually granting refunds. The game is so bad that the entire classic games division at Blizzard is completely canned.
They're all fired.
It also causes an
Holy.
upcoming Diablo 2 remake to be pushed back more.
That's so fucked up, but really fucking funny at the same time. They came out with the game so bad that Activision just fired every single one of them. It's really funny. It's really fucked up though, but
More
it's
than a
funny.
year.
Really, not good.
So
Don't
it's
fire your
2021,
employees, please.
and Blizzard's reputation is currently abhorrent. But luckily, Overwatch 2 is just around the corner. Oh, hold on a sec.
The pandemic.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Turns out that over the last 2 years, the California Civil Rights Department had been investigating Activision Blizzard due to multiple reports of sexual harassment from staff. And by July 2021, they had enough evidence to file suit. The lawsuit states that sexual harassment, unwanted advances, and groping are common within Blizzard, both before and after the merge. This includes the mention of an executive suite at 2013's BlizzCon. It's not a nice
The
place.
sex suite?
In fact,
Oh no.
some employees literally dub it the Cosby Suite.
The Cosby
Then
Suite.
there's the
yeah,
alleged
that's it. It was the
underpaying of
Cosby
women,
Suite. Oh,
and complaints to
fuck.
both HR and the president repeatedly being ignored.
Yep.
But there was something else. The employees' breast milk.
Oh
being
no, I forgot
stolen.
about the breast milk.
In the lawsuit,
Oh,
more than one employee
no.
alleges breast milk theft. It was very clearly breast milk, in baggies with a baby's face on it.
Oh no, yes, some creepy dude at the company kept stealing this woman's breast milk. Yep. We should, for people that don't know, we should probably look into the Blizzard thing. It was Homelander. Oh fuck. Then they co-hired a woman CEO with a dude, and they paid her less. Jesus Christ.
Former producer claims. One day, I went to retrieve my pumped supply at the end of the day, and it was gone. The fallout is monumental
so
and makes
psychotic.
headlines industry-wide. Few people are spared. Current Diablo 4 lead, gone. His character's name in Overwatch,
Yep, gone.
also gone.
Gone.
Level designer on World of Warcraft,
Gone.
Head of HR,
Gone.
definitely gone. Warcraft League, gone. J. Allen, gone. Their chief legal, gone.
Yep.
The Wall Street Journal also alleges that Kotick knew about the whole thing, ignored it, and in some cases, even jumped in himself. He denies most of the allegations,
I did not.
but eventually apologizes for a one-time instance where he left a voicemail threatening to have his assistant killed. That's all fine then. Water under the bridge. Sponsors like T-Mobile,
There's no
Coca-Cola, Kellogg, IBM and Pringles also all
pull
jump
it.
ship
Yep,
from the
they pull it, of
Overwatch
course.
esports league.
Yep.
And Activision Blizzard is hit with a class action lawsuit on behalf of its shareholders.
Yep.
What?
Overall, the situation's not looking great. Activision Blizzard denies most of the claims, and in June 2022, they investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing.
Of course. Of course. Kotick for sure was drinking the milk. He was.
The immediate reaction to Overwatch 2's announcement was one of confusion.
Yeah.
Overwatch 1
Why?
was a monetized game with a thriving player base
Yeah.
and regular updates.
It doesn't make any
The
sense.
kind of game that doesn't need a sequel.
It doesn't.
So this was a strange move.
Yeah.
Overwatch 2's development would also mean the end of support for Overwatch
Yeah,
1
like,
in
why?
2020, with us seeing no new
But, like, let's
Overwatch
pretend-
content for multiple years.
Let's pretend that Overwatch 2 wasn't the same game. Let's pretend it wasn't. Let's pretend that everything that came out for Overwatch 2 was, exactly what came out. Like, what was promised, right? So, revamped maps, revamped graphics, a single-player story mode, a PvE mode. Everything that they said would come out, came out with Overwatch 2. Right? Let's pretend that actually happened. Still, like, why does it have to be Overwatch 2? Why can't it just be, like... Why couldn't it just be an expansion? I don't really understand. I know that they wanted to make Overwatch free to play. Because a big part of it, well, not a big part, but a part of it was turning Overwatch from $60 to free to play. That was important to them. But why not just make Overwatch free to play, and $60 gets you the story mode, the campaign, the PvE content, and if you just want to play the multiplayer the same way that you played before, you can just play it. Like, just play the multiplayer unchanged with updated graphics, with new graphics and new maps. That's not weird. Like, that makes perfect sense because Fortnite... Well, yeah, but Fortnite is free to play. They could have just... I just don't understand the need for it to be Overwatch 2. Like, why couldn't it just be, like, an expansion? I don't understand. It could have just been an expansion. Overwatch 2 sounds more impressive to some? Yeah, for sure. I think it sounds cool, but, like, it's also really confusing to Overwatch players. Also, Overwatch 2 sounds cool, but Overwatch 2 has the implicit implication, like, it has the implication built in that the player base will split. I'm thinking too hard about this? No, I'm just saying, like, they could have just said, like, hey guys, it's so easy. Hey guys, if you already bought Overwatch, Overwatch is becoming free to play. If you already bought Overwatch for $60, if you already did that, we will give you the PvE content for free or something. Or we'll give you $60 of in-game credits to spend on cosmetics. Or something like that. They could have just done that. Oh yeah, you bought Overwatch back then, now it's free to play. You can have $60 of free in-game cosmetics. Or you can have, like, the first 4 battle passes for free. Or something. Like, that's all they needed to do. Just say, like, yeah, you bought it, and then it's $60 for the expansion. And that's fine. Like, they were too busy in the Cosby Lounge, probably. But that would have been the simple solution. I just don't get why they had to market it as a new game when Overwatch is already a game that's like Blizzard's current best performing game, I imagine. I could be wrong. Maybe it's not. Maybe it wasn't monetized very well. But I feel like Overwatch was Blizzard's best game for a long time. I don't know.
Essentially killing the game. What?
But the problem is they killed it. Like, because we watched that video on Overwatch 2, right? We watched a video on it on Is Overwatch Dead or whatever. And what we actually saw is, now that they've basically turned Overwatch 2 as much as they could have back into Overwatch 1. They've basically just turned the game back to Overwatch 1. They fixed their they're fixing the weird monetization stuff, fixing a lot of the battle pass shit, actually balancing the game. If they just bring Overwatch 2 back up to Overwatch 1 standard, it's just a good game. Overwatch is just a good game. If they just make it as good as Overwatch 1, it's a good game that will have a big player base. So if they just do that, we're chilling. So I just don't understand. I just don't get it, I guess. I don't know.
But with Overwatch 2,
they unironically took their own game that was doing really well and they murdered it for no reason. It assures
us it was all worth it. Just look at all this new stuff. 5v5 instead of 6v6. Shiny new graphics.
It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Seriously. The way that Overwatch 2 will be like an iconic moment in fucking gaming history. When a company said, hey guys, we're gonna make a sequel to a game that has all of this new stuff. And then they came out with the exact same game that already existed with like 0.5% better graphics. They just dropped like the mildest improvement to the game and called it a sequel and didn't add anything. They didn't add anything new that they said they were going to add. Like, it's actually going to be, it's insane. If you imagine gamers are jingling keys levels of gullible, then releasing Overwatch 2 instead of just doing everything you said sounds great.
Balancing
maybe.
changes, map reworks, 6 new maps, 3 new heroes, more than 30 new skins, a new game mode, a battle pass and cosmetics shop, and most importantly, a PvE campaign. People had been longing for a story in the Overwatch universe, and now it was finally happening. And it was ambitious. Blizzard shows off a full campaign, along with hero missions, talents, and massive skill trees unique to each hero. Hundreds of missions at launch, they announce. A truly replayable campaign. And don't worry, with Overwatch 2, Blizzard tells us they were redefining what a sequel really means. Overwatch 1 players get all the new maps, updates, and heroes that released in Overwatch 2.
They really did redefine what a sequel is. They really did.
Together. The purchase of Overwatch 2 essentially only granting the PvE mode. Okay, sold. Players are on board.
Yeah, that's
10th of
all
March
they had to
2022, and Blizzard has an announcement. Look, we know we said hundreds of missions at launch, but, well, it's taking a while, so we're just going to release the game now without it, and add it later. Then in June, they come out again. The game's now free to play, and launching in October. But anyway, on the 4th of October 2022, it goes live. There are some issues. Events are bad, tons of balancing issues, the looking for group feature is now just completely gone, but mainly, there's the new cosmetics system. Yeah. In Overwatch 1, earning cosmetics was simple. Just play the game, level up, and earn loot boxes that give you skins. You could pay for them, but that was completely optional. In Overwatch 2, things are different. Blizzard has now slapped on a seasonal battle pass system, where the bulk of cosmetics would now be unlocked. There's also a rotating store, and the prices there aren't great. You can unlock skins for free through the challenge system, but there's a problem. It takes about 8 months to get one. A simple character recolor takes almost 4 weeks.
Yep.
All of this means that it will take you around 327 years to get all the stuff you could get relatively quickly for free.
And the quality
in
of the
Overwatch 1.
skins, the quality of the skins is so much worse. They're all fucking basic recolors. They're all basic recolors. It's not like fucking... And it's a first-person shooter. I don't understand. The only reason that the fucking the fucking weapon skins in CSGO and Valorant work is because they change your fucking gun or your knife. That's the only reason that they fucking work. Like, Fortnite is a 3D game, so you get to see your character. And Fortnite is goofy with it. Also, you get so much free shit in Fortnite. You get so much free shit. Like, if you buy the Battle Pass in Fortnite, and just one Battle Pass in Fortnite, and then you just play the game, you can re-buy the Battle Pass with the Battle Pass money that you earn, and a skin. Every Battle Pass you can buy, and you get a shitload of free skins, of course, with the Battle Pass. But you can buy a skin, buy the Battle Pass, and unlock 20 free skins per Battle Pass. That's a good deal. And you only need to buy it one time. You need to buy it once. Insane. The only important thing about Overwatch skins is the weapon, which is why they should just sell weapons. They should just have weapon skins. They should have cosmetic skins and weapon. They should have like a cosmetic skin and just have a weapon skin.
So, there's now a new hero every other season, and they'd be locked behind the later levels of the season pass. Your options are, spend every minute of your life grinding for them, or pay up.
Give me money.
In Overwatch 1, they were unlocked straight away. Fans don't take kindly to these changes. But then in May 2023, Blizzard comes out again. So, that PvP hero campaign that we've been advertising, and was pretty much the sole reason we made the sequel in the first place,
is cancelled.
Pretty much completely scrapped.
Yeah.
No more talent trees or hero missions.
Yeah.
Instead, we're just gonna pepper some PvE missions around every few seasons.
Yeah.
What?
This was essentially the entire selling point for the sequel. Some of the remaining story content is still planned, with its first release on August 10th. But when it finally releases, it's only 3 missions.
Yep.
Blizzard is saying the game won't be getting any more story missions until at least 2024.
Yep.
They also add Overwatch 2 to Steam, and it instantly becomes the worst reviewed game of all time there.
Yep.
The year is now 2020.
Blizzard had to hit with Diablo 4. Like, Blizzard is in such a shit state that Diablo 4 had to be. It had to be really good. And you know what the problem with Diablo 4 is? The big problem with Diablo 4 is that Path of Exile just exists and is great. So, Diablo 4 sold really well, but, like, I don't know if it's a living game right now. It's like, I don't know. But in my opinion, Diablo 4, they had to make it a really good game. And the problem was that they already had competitors in the scene that were really liked or whatever. So it was a big challenge for Diablo 4 to really, they really had to land with it. And in my opinion, Diablo 4 was a good game, in my opinion. I think that despite the high pressure that Diablo 4 was under to really, like, be good, Diablo 4 was good, in my opinion. It was good, but it's like a single win in an ocean of L's. You know what I mean? You got bored of it quickly? Yeah, but honestly, as far as $60 story mode games go, like, it was fine. Like, I beat the campaign one time, I never played it again. It's fine. Maybe in, like, a year, I'll go back and play it again. It's fine. Like, it got the job done, and it has the quality. Like, if Blizzard only ever released Diablo 4 quality games, they wouldn't be as reviled as they are right now. Like, they wouldn't be as fucking hated. If every Blizzard game was Diablo 4 level quality, they'd be good. It had it used to be believable.
23. And Blizzard's reputation has never been worse. So when Diablo 4's release approaches, people are cautious. But on the 5th of June, the game launches.
And it's good.
And it's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
There are some issues here and there, but reviews are mostly positive,
yeah.
and over 10 million people log in and play, making Diablo 4 Blizzard's fastest selling game of all time. For the first time in years, things are actually looking up.
This is why people need to understand. I feel like these companies need to understand. I don't know what the fuck their problem is. If you just make a good game, it speaks for itself. The issue is they keep making these shit games. Like, if you just make a good game, it will work out. It will work out. That's the problem, though. No company wants to just make good fucking games. I don't know why. Like, just make good fucking games. Now, obviously, it's not that simple. There has to be a market for it. Riot fucking shut down their division that was making their little mini games or whatever, like the Ruined King game type thing. They shut down that division. They fired everyone that worked for it, apparently, according to what I heard. And those games were good, but no one was buying them. But that's because they were making little indie games. And indie games are a different genre, okay? Indie games are a whole other thing. They're a whole other genre, okay? A lot of indie games are really fucking good and never sell. So, but if you're making a AAA game with the Diablo IP, the Warcraft IP, the StarCraft IP, Overwatch IP, these massive, massive IPs. If you're making a AAA game with these crazy big IPs, with like these massive like announcement events, like BlizzCon gets so many views. Like, if you just make a good game, it's a cycle. You make one good game, and all of a sudden, the next game, people are gonna be like, you know what though? That last game was pretty fucking good. I'm excited to see what they come up with next. That last game, the last 3 Blizzard games have been like really fucking good. Has anyone else noticed that like Blizzard is coming out with a lot of bangers recently? Like Diablo 4 was good. We got like, let's pretend in this hypothetical world, Overwatch 2 story mode was sick. Like, the latest Hearthstone expansion has been really good. I'm pretty excited for this new game that they're coming like that. But no, we can't make good games. We can't just make good fucking games.
And this game was live service, meaning it would receive 3 seasons of content for the foreseeable future. The first of which was launching in July. A month later, and in July, Season 1 of the game drops. It is disastrous, and Reddit goes into a complete meltdown. Turns out, everything gets a big nerf, including the Metacritic score. The Sorcerer class, which was already underpowered, is hit especially hard. Then there's the enemies being overpowered, much less XP, a bunch of reskinned dungeons and enemies, barely any new content, and 0 quality of life changes.
Everything here is wrong.
One streamer on Twitch tries to explain why the season isn't that bad. Here's how that goes.
Explosion is at... I actually just lost my hardcore character while trying to explain this to you. I changed my mind. I hate this season.
Wait, what went wrong here? Okay.
Tries to explain why the season isn't that bad. Here's how that goes.
Explosion is at... I actually just lost my hardcore character while trying to explain this to you. I changed my mind. I hate this season.
But like, I'm going to be honest with people. I don't give a fuck. If you hate Season 1 of Diablo 4, man, that's not the same. That's not the same thing as like them turning over, like, as Overwatch 2. Like, I don't care. I straight up don't care that Season 1 of Diablo 4 sucked. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck. I'm sure it was bad. I'm sure that the people that cared about Diablo 4 were upset that the game was shit for a month or so. But like, literally get over yourselves. Like, this is not the same thing as... This is so not the same thing as coming out with a bad game. This is so not the same thing as a bad expansion for World of Warcraft or Overwatch 2 or Heroes of the Swarm. It's not the same thing at all. It's just like one bad season in a seasonal game. Okay. Next season will be better. Okay.
Seems Blizzard also has a bit of a fixation on the
Battle Pass.
Speaking of which, it gives paid players 666 platinum.
Yeah, League of Legends
the
has
cheapest
been...
item.
This... Fuck me, I pause a lot. Like, in League of Legends, this season has been pretty bad, in my opinion. In terms of balance, this has been a really bad season. But... like, I don't think that makes League of Legends a bad game. League of Legends is an excellent game. It's just having a bad season right now.
In the store is 800. Also, back when Blizzard was designing the menus for the game, they decided to place the Activate Premium Battle Pass button right next to the button you're constantly pressing to see your season progression.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
There's also no confirmation button, so if you want to check your progression and accidentally misclick, congratulations. You've just purchased it. There are multiple other confirmation buttons for other menu options.
Wait, is that real? No way. No fucking way. You can actually fat finger. No way. There's no confirmation. You just misclick and lose fucking $20. That's so fucking funny. Holy shit. Oh no, and all the menus look the same. All these menus look the same.
In the game.
Oh
So
no.
Blizzard's last few years haven't been great.
The first season is the worst one to fumble. Okay, so I agree. The thing that surprises me is that the first season wasn't like baked into the game. Like, from my point of view, if you're coming out with a game and you're going to have seasons, you should probably already know what season 1 is going to be before the game even releases. And you should already know that. You should be like, yeah, okay, we haven't even released this game, but season 1 is going to be this and change like these things. And then you have a little bit of time to think about like it. But it should be pretty like you should not be able to fumble the first season. It shouldn't be possible. It should be something you work on with the actual release of the game. But I guess, yeah.
Blizzard is now worse than Bethesda!
It had slowly become clear to people. With overreach from Activision, more fiscal concern, and most of the original talent having left the company, among other things. Maybe Blizzard wasn't the company it once was. And after a back-to-office mandate in 2023, even more talent is leaving. So much talent that Blizzard is now actually creating crisis maps for what content they can and can't get done. But with the acquisition from Microsoft, who's currently focusing on making good exclusives to slap on their Game Pass, some fans are hopeful for change.
I'm hopeful.
But for now, the outlook on Blizzard Entertainment remains bleak.
I'm pretty hopeful for the Microsoft thing. The thing is, though...
And don't forget about the epic, accurate, action-packed War Thunder free-to-play PvP.
The thing is, sorry, that was a long video. But the thing is, I'm pretty hopeful about the Microsoft thing. Because they have good IPs, and they can probably make some good games. But, most likely, it's not going to all be good. It's going to be some good, some bad. So, we'll see. But, as long as people are just allowed to work on games that they care about making good, then good things will happen. I think. Just like Halo Infinite was a good game. Was Halo Infinite the one that was like a battle, was it a battle royale or something? There was a good Halo game that came out, right? There was a popular Halo game that came out. Was it Infinite?